All right, so today we're diving deep into a speech by Barack Obama. This isn't just any speech, though. It's considered one of his best.
Yeah.
Some people even say it's one of the best English speeches ever. So we're going to see if it lives up to the hype.
All right.
What makes it tick? What can we learn from it? What do you think?
Well, I think one of the things that's so interesting about this speech is how Obama weaves his personal stories into these big ideas about education.
Mm?
He's not just talking about getting good grades here. He's talking about education as the key to, like, everything. Personal success, national progress.
Right from the start, he brings us back to his childhood. He was living in Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
His mom was a single parent, and she was dedicated to giving him this good American education. So she was waking up at 4:30 a.m. every day to homeschool him.
Wow, 438. That's
Yeah.
dedication. You can really see how important education was to Obama and his family.
Definitely. And he's not afraid to laugh about it either. He even jokes about how his mom would shut down his complaints about these early morning lessons.
Oh, I bet.
With a simple, "This is no picnic for me either, Buster."
That's great. It shows how he can connect with people, be funny and relatable, even when he's talking about these really complex ideas.
Yeah, and he goes on to share more of those personal challenges. Struggling financially, feeling like he doesn't fit in, even getting into a little trouble.
Right.
Which a lot of people can relate to, and it makes his message even more powerful. It's like, hey, I've been there.
I've been through it.
You can get through it too.
Exactly. And it's not just about getting through those tough times.
No.
It's about how those experiences shape you
Oh.
and how anyone, no matter where they come from, can achieve their dreams.
But he doesn't pretend like everyone has the same advantages or faces the same obstacles.
Right. He definitely doesn't shy away from that.
So he's walking this tightrope. He acknowledges those systemic barriers that exist
Well, yeah, for sure.
while also emphasizing personal responsibility, which is tricky, but he pulls it off.
It's that nuance that makes it work.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the problems, but about empowering people to make a difference within those circumstances.
Okay. So then he hits us with his big point, education.
Yeah, it's the heart of the speech.
He's not messing around here. He's saying a good education is essential, period.
Absolutely.
It's the foundation for any career. You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, serve the military, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
You need a good education.
Yeah.
And it's not just about those individual careers either. He connects education to, like, solving the world's problems, like disease, poverty, discrimination, the environment.
All these huge issues
He ties it all back to education.
to the power of knowledge and thinking critically. It's really fascinating how he elevates it beyond just, personal ambition. It's about your duty to be a good citizen and contribute to something bigger than yourself.
He's saying that education is about shaping the future. It's not just about getting a job. But let's be honest, sometimes it's hard to stay motivated in school.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, Obama knows this,
Yeah.
and he doesn't just brush it aside.
Yeah.
He goes straight at all the excuses we use to not try hard enough.
So it's like, my family doesn't support me. It's too dangerous where I live. I'm being pressured to make bad choices.
Yeah. He's like reading our minds, right?
Right. And then he's shutting down those excuses. He's not saying these aren't real problems,
Yeah.
but he's saying they don't have to hold you back.
He even has this one line, where you are right now doesn't have to determine where you'll end up. It's powerful stuff.
That is really powerful. He's giving everyone permission to dream big. Your past doesn't have to define you.
And it's not just empty words either.
Oh, no.
He backs it up with some really inspiring examples.
Yeah, so he brings up J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah.
She got, like, tons of rejections from publishers
Yep.
before she found success with Harry Potter.
Can you imagine?
And then there's Michael Jordan,
Hmm.
cut from his high school basketball team.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
These aren't just these feel-good stories, though. They're about resilience.
Hmm.
It's about learning from your setbacks, getting back up and trying again, even when it's hard.
He even says, you have to let your failures teach you. It's all about having that growth mindset.
Totally. But it's not all tough love.
Yep.
He mixes that with this really encouraging tone,
Yeah.
recognizing the challenges, but also offering real advice.
So he talks about asking for help.
Yeah.
You don't have to go it alone. Finding a mentor, a teacher, someone you trust to help you along the way.
He emphasizes that that's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a strength.
Mhm.
And then to close out this whole section, there's this line that just gives me chills every time I hear it.
Oh, really? Okay, what is it?
It's, the story of America isn't about people who quit when things got tough. It's about people who kept going, who tried harder, who loved their country too much to do anything less than their best. Like, wow.
He knows how to bring it home.
Classic Obama. Weaving together personal stories, these universal challenges, and this big vision of America, all tied to education.
It's inspiring stuff.
Yeah. And he's not done. He goes on to get even more specific about what students can do to take control of their education. He ties it all back to this idea of contributing to something bigger than themselves.
So we've got a lot more ground to cover.
Huh.
We've seen Obama's journey, his belief in education, and his challenge to students. But now we're going to go deeper into the specific advice he offers and how that connects to this vision of a better America.
So we left off with Obama setting up this vision of education, right,
Okay.
as this key to America's future. But now he starts to get really practical. He's giving specific advice for students who are facing those daily challenges.
He tackles things head on, stuff like, my family doesn't support me, my neighborhood's not safe, or even like, I'm being pressured to make bad choices.
Say all that.
He doesn't pretend these aren't real problems, but he also doesn't let them be excuses. What's so powerful is that he's speaking from his own experience. He's not coming from this place of privilege where he can just lecture people about pulling themselves up, right?
Right.
He gets it. He's been there.
And that's why it resonates, especially with young people. It's like he's saying, I understand these are real issues, but they don't have to define you.
Right. You still have a choice.
You can choose a different path. It's about taking ownership.
Exactly. Even in tough situations, you still have the power to make decisions. You can choose how you respond to things, how you spend your time and energy.
Like, it's so easy to get stuck in this mindset of, well, this is just how things are. There's nothing I can do. But Obama pushes back against that. He brings up J.K. Rowling again and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, those great examples.
It's not just to say, hey, look, they made it, so can you.
No.
It's about showing that you got to persevere.
Right. Think about J.K. Rowling, a single mom, struggling to make ends meet. And she keeps getting rejected over and over again for Harry Potter.
It would have been so easy to give up,
Yeah.
right? To just say, this is too hard, forget it. But she didn't. She kept going. She believed in what she was doing.
And then Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player ever, cut from his high school team.
Can you imagine?
He could have easily just decided he wasn't good enough and walked away.
But he didn't.
And those stories teach us something. They show us that failure isn't the opposite of success.
Right.
It's part of the journey.
Yeah.
It's all about learning from those setbacks, getting back up and trying again, even when it's really tough.
It's such an important message, especially now with everything being so instant. You know, overnight success.
Exactly. Obama's reminding us that real success, that takes time. It takes dedication. And it takes being willing to fail along the way.
Right. And you're not going to become J.K. Rowling or Michael Jordan.
Right. Not everyone's going to be a world-famous author or a basketball superstar.
And that's where his point about education comes in.
Right.
It's not just about those big, flashy careers. It's about giving yourself the tools, the knowledge and the skills. You do deal with all of life's challenges to contribute to society in a meaningful way.
So even if your dreams aren't about being in the spotlight,
Yeah,
even if they're more down to earth, it doesn't matter. Education is still that foundation.
it is. And remember how he talked about all those huge problems that America faces?
Yeah.
Like curing diseases, protecting the environment, fighting poverty, all of that.
Right.
He connects all of those things to education.
He does.
He's saying, we need your brains, your creativity, your passion to solve these things. It's not just about you and your own life. It's about being a good citizen.
It's about making a difference for everybody.
Exactly. And recognizing that what you learn has an impact on your whole community, even the entire country. But he doesn't just leave it there, right? He gives you some concrete advice.
Right. He talks about finding a trusted adult, someone who can help you when things get tough.
A teacher, a mentor, even a friend. And he talks about the importance of asking questions. Don't be afraid to say you don't understand something or that you need help.
Yeah, that can be hard for some people.
But it's so important.
Especially when you're struggling or feeling lost.
Exactly. And again, it goes back to that idea of community.
Right.
He's not saying go it alone. He's encouraging people to build support networks to help each other out. But there's one more thing, one final challenge that Obama gives. And it really sticks with you.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. What is it? So what is this final challenge? What's this thing that stays with you?
Well, remember how he's been talking about America's story this whole time?
Yeah.
Overcoming obstacles, the power of education, shaping the future.
Yeah.
Well, he brings it all together with this really powerful question.
Okay.
He asks the students, what's your contribution going to be? What problems are you going to solve? What discoveries are you going to make?
Wow. He's asking them to think big picture. about
Hmm.
their legacy, their impact on the world?
Yeah, it's a big question to ask anybody, especially a room full of students.
I can imagine. So how do they react to that?
Well, he takes it even a step further. He asks them to imagine a future president, decades from now,
Okay.
looking back at their generation. And he says, what will a president who comes here in 20 or 50 or 100 years say about what all of you did for this country?
He's connecting their actions right now to the future.
Yeah. It's like he's saying, you're not just students, you're the future leaders of this country.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. And that's what makes this speech more than just a pep talk.
Right.
It's a call to action. He's reminding them that we all have a role to play in shaping the future, and that education is the key to making that happen.
It's not all on their shoulders, though. He acknowledges that it's a group effort.
Oh, yeah. He talks about how he's working to make schools better,
Yeah.
to provide resources and create opportunities.
Right.
But he also makes it clear that the students have to meet him halfway.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly. It's a partnership. And then he ends with this really inspiring message. He tells them, I expect great things from each of you. So don't let us down. Don't let your family down. Don't let your country down. Most of all, don't let yourself down. Make us all proud.
I love that. It's the perfect balance of challenge and support.
Yeah. It's not just telling them what they can do, it's making them believe it.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what stands out to you most from Obama's speech? What really resonated with you?
Hmm. I think for me, it's that question, what's your contribution going to be?
Yeah.
It makes you really think about your own life,
Yeah.
about your passions, your values, how you want to make a difference.
It's a great question, and it makes me think about something else. Obama challenges his audience to think about their contributions to the country. But what about our listeners? What are they passionate about? What kind of legacy do they want to leave behind?
Ooh, good question. Those are some things to ponder for sure. I hope our listeners will let Obama's words inspire them to find their own answers. Maybe even check out his whole speech.
That's a great idea. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time.